This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine.
Almost all of my clients who are victims of domestic violence have children. I would say, without a doubt, it's somewhere around 98% of my clients that are women have children and have those children with them.
Children are part of a family economic unit. And so go mom and dad, so go the kids. And so if the mom and dad are being evicted from their house and they have no choice but to live in their car for the next month, where do you think the kids are staying? They're staying in the back seat of the car, and that's a 24-hour-a-day, 7-day-a-week living situation, and we see that.
A lot of the parents of children living in these homes that we deal with express that they feel a lot of guilt about where their kids are living and the impact that's having on their kids. A lot of them are also really angry about what's going on because in many cases these families are trying as hard as they can. Often they are working and just can't make ends meet. So they've done everything that they can. They've gotten their child, into a home. They've paid their deposit. They've paid their utilities. Often they're up to date on their rent even, but they can't get it to be any better. One family that I worked with recently had been living in a home with contaminated water, and one of the children in the household had gotten really sick and had missed enough school that he was probably going to have to repeat a year because of the stomach problems he was having from the bad water. More frequently than that, we see children living with respiratory conditions because the mold in the house has exacerbated asthma or has caused respiratory infections or allergies that are really disabling for a child, make it hard to run outside and play and do the things that kids like to do, let alone get a good night's sleep because they're having a hard time breathing.
The folks that we are helping are living paycheck to paycheck. That's if they get a paycheck. They are making do with less money than you can imagine trying to make do with. And so when it comes to the end of the month and the place is simply unlivable, the question is, do I pay $500 to live here another month, or do I try and come up with $500 for a security deposit, $500 for first month's rent, $500 for last month's rent, get a new utility deposit of $200, get a moving truck, even if I rent one, it's going to cost me $100 just to pick up my family and move. And so what we're talking about is the disparity between living in crap and paying $500 to stay there, or coming out of pocket $2,500 somehow. And $2,500 for many of these folks is as impossible for them to get as it would be for you to lay your hands on $500,000.
One thing in particular had brought her to me, had forced her to make that phone call, and that was because her son, who was around 12 years old at the time, was sleeping on the floor next to her bed because he wanted to be there to protect her in case she needed him when the dad came home at night. And the other thing was that her daughter, who was a few years younger than that, had said to her, "It's okay only for your husband to hit you, right, Mom?" And that's when she realized the level of the impact, the level of change that was occurring in her children growing up in a home where violence was normal, yelling was normal, fear was normal, threats were normal. One of the favorite parts of my job is so often when I'm done meeting with a woman, when I'm done doing a consultation and an evaluation, she'll reach down to grab her purse and say, "How much do I owe you?" And I get to look at her and say, "Nothing. Our services are free. And the relief, the flood of relief and gratitude that I see come over these women who often don't even have enough to buy groceries, when I tell them, you don't have to pay. And the reason we can do that is because our community stands behind us.
I went to law school because I wanted to do legal services and help people who were in crisis, and specifically to help people who were in crisis related to their homes. And I'm really lucky to have ended up at a place like Pisgah Legal Services, where I'm able to do that for clients who wouldn't be able to afford those services on their own. The vast majority of our clients just wouldn't have legal representation if it weren't for Pisgah Legal Services. And the only reason that Pisgah Legal Services is able to exist and do the work that we do is because of the donors who support us in our community. So I'm incredibly grateful to the people who support Pisgah Legal Services and make that work possible for us.